Hey everybody, we're back in the shop. Just going to do a little bit of fiberglass work, poor man style. I really want to do this back section. Once it's done, then I can do the sides. But because the side is going to be one large field and two small pieces, I was just going to do this tonight. It's pretty late. And I'm getting called yesterday late in the afternoon. They neglected to mention, a contractor we work for, that they were working on the A&W at Capilano Mall, and we were supposed to be in there doing wood facing, refacing. So I ended up working yesterday from 5 till midnight. So I had a little nap after work. So I was gonna do these little sections today. I forgot that I had not prepared. These little Bondo holes need some filling. Could be a potential air gap, maybe cause delamination issues. So I'm going to just actually do a little prep work, and if I got time, I might actually get these little sections on tonight. I really got to do the back first, but these can be finished. And kind of running low on glue. There you are, little tight bond. As I had planned on getting another 5 gallons because I was originally going to do the roof in the same poor man's fiberglass. Then I was considering doing a one-piece aluminum roof. Because of my roof design, I still need plywood skins because it's going to have an overhang. And I was worried it was going to be like expansion contraction issues. Like, you know, the aluminum heats up, it could pop the glue. I don't want to put a bunch of rivets or fasteners in the top. Also, because it's quite visible because of the shape of it, potentially like pine cones or branches or whatever hitting it, it might get beat up and dented up over time. So what I'm considering now is doing an actual rich man's fiberglass roof. I've been doing a bit of research. It probably will be, for the price, the best actual roofing material. So I'm doing a little more research, but I think that's the way I'm really leaning. So I've got some material ordered for the roof. So once I get all these skins on, I've got to get the roof on and do my build-ups underneath so I can butt all my trim up to it. So I'm pretty close to getting the outside fully sheathed, skinned, trimmed. I might have to do my fiberglass work first. I don't know. It's just element after element piling up on each other's, but it's getting there. So I'm really going to be excited to get in the next couple days all these skins done. And then I've got some material ordered for the interior. Got to pick up some insulation. 1.5 inch styrofoam, some sheathing panels. Oh, there's my rice cooker. So I'm probably going to go 1/8 for most of the sheathing, or maybe it's 1/4 inch, but it's really, I think it's like 5 mil. It's more like 3/16. So if the weight difference is too bad, it's quite a bit stronger than just the 1/8, which can be pretty flimsy. By the time you skin it, and if you glue it to your styrofoam insulation, it's pretty stiff. I mean, it's going to be like propane storage and another closet here and under the sink, and it's a closet here and like my battery storage, and my bench area will be a stronger piece over top of that 1/8, so we'll see. I don't know if you noticed in the time-lapse segment I was just doing. I had one of these sanding blocks, which is made of a sanding belt. So it happens to be 3 by 24. I just have like a plywood piece with a rounded corner, so it fits on there pretty nice. Doesn't really spin. And these actually last a long time. Like the last belt I had on here lasted quite a few years, to be honest, for general flushing up the back of a cabinet. Usually I'll flush up the front banding. And the back, if there's any, I mean, you want to cut it close, but sometimes you have a slight discrepancy, a 32nd or whatever. Very useful, flushing that stuff up. These aren't finishing sanding blocks, but quickly knocking off corners, general flushing. You know, if you're scribing, you undercut it, you can, they're tough, they last a long time. It's red because it's Diablo brand. It gives you a devil of a good time. What did you think I would say at this do at this moment. I'm not a lyrical expert. You know, these parts of the videos are the ones that I like showing my ex-wife. She gets a little angry because she sees me eyeing things that I never used to eye. Should be good. I've been looking at getting a tripod and an external mic. So I know my audio quality is not always the greatest. And my camera angles sometimes really suck. But it's kind of hard sometimes. It's a lot different when you're filming videos versus just building stuff. There's a lot more thought goes into the whole process of what you're doing, how to capture it, how to convey it. A lot of things sometimes I think are helpful tips and tricks. I'll be talking and explaining, and then during editing it, I'll be like, you're just rambling on. Just end up cutting it. You just show the gist of what you're doing. Not really doing how-to videos right now. It's kind of what I'm doing videos. Really not liking these rollers. They really compact down. I did have them on hand. I might try foam rollers. You want to get good coverage, I find, in my opinion. You don't want to oversaturate your canvas. Heavy glue spots or two spots. Well, let's say you didn't mix your initial water up very well. Find those wet spots that bleed through completely. Surprisingly, this doesn't really penetrate the whole canvas unless you've gone crazy with your glue. I find those spots were giving me the most problems. But live and learn. Spread this onto here a lot easier. It's still a lot of glue, man. So we want to make sure you have good coverage. You don't want really, you don't want to leave a bunch of like really thick spots. I mean, that's incredibly thick, but it's a really fine line of enough but not too much. So I'm just going to start at the top. Sure it's overhanging. I've got quite a bit extra here. I've got a couple inches all around. Smooth it out. See, this area is quite heavy. It's air bubbles galore, man. I'm going to roll this with a laminate roller. Good to look right. So what I found is for my joints where I cut them, I want to get it really pressed down, but only like a 1/4 inch past where I go. Because when I cut it off, you've got to peel off the excess, and if it's pressed down too tight, you start pulling out the plywood, right? So you want it to be very good, and I'm actually going to cut this here. I'll show you. So you want it to be a nice joint. And We got wrinkles. Air bubbles down on this thing. Looks pretty good on the city problem areas, so I'm going to keep an eye on it, and then I'm going to go and roll over the top again. I'm going to go do, I'm going to start cooking my dinner. It's almost 10:30 here. So I'm going to go start my dinner and then come back and do the other side, I think. And then get these both rolled tonight. Yeah, I find you keep an eye on it for a little bit. You can see if there's any bubbles forming or any of the high spots. And then once it's set, I don't know, between 20 minutes and half an hour, I find it's pretty safe. You can roll over the top. I find if you roll over the top too soon, got any problem areas, it just creates bigger problems in those areas. That is my unscientific opinion on the subject. Well, I managed to get my poor man's fiberglass applied. Let this sit for a bit while I did the other side. I've just rolled this side of the second coating on top. So far it looks good, no bubbles, no problems. We'll let that sit overnight. And this side, it's been about 10 minutes maybe. I'm just gonna quickly check it again, go stir my dinner, come back and I'm gonna roll over this, and then it's probably, what time is it? It is 11 o'clock p.m. So it's pretty much gonna wrap it up for me. I'm gonna have eat some food, have a shower, and go to bed. It just kind of helps to get the bulk of it out of the way. And I can do a closer trim. All right, I just have to do a little tiny bit of sanding on these screw holes. I can iron my canvas and get this glued up. Well, I managed to glue the canvas on the largest piece so far. It's about 7 by 7 minus the cutouts. And I rolled a couple inches past where I marked the door. So I saved a little bit of glue in the center, but. So it went on pretty good, but the sheer size of it, rolling the canvas wasn't too bad. It stays pretty wet because it's in the cloth. But it started up here. By the time I had got down to the rest of it, I was going like hauling ass. Coming back, it was starting to get like a little bit tacky dry, so I went over it quickly. So I'm pretty sure it's fine. But yeah, definitely you don't have a whole lot of time to work. And it really confirms my choice to do the roof in actual fiberglass, I'm pretty sure. So I'm just trimming up this, my back piece. I got 2 pieces left to go, this wing, or this side, and the other side. I'm just gonna trim this up, clean it up a little bit, and I gotta work nights tomorrow and Friday. So we gotta get into a restaurant to finish some wall paneling. It's kind of busy in the morning and lunch. So I'll probably get to it this weekend. But I have here interior paneling. Oh, those 3 sheets are also for the interior of my ceiling. And these are for some interior paneling. And I have 4 sheets of marine plywood, which are gonna be for the exterior roof. 4 sheets, 3 will basically do it, but I'm gonna hang it off the back end about a foot maybe. And then I'm gonna build up the edge. You'll see. I've probably explained this before. Find that 2 fairly firm but not super heavy strokes. So I'm just gonna cut through this stuff. Hey, what a good camera step, eh? So I'm just gonna keep cleaning this up. Get this all trimmed up. I have this up on a piece of dunnage, so I actually took a floor jack with a metal pipe. And it's quite heavy now, because there's a bunch of shit in it. And it was a little bit of a strain to lift. So I want to get this off this dunnage. And back flat on the ground. And then I got a little cleaning up to do on the sides, and then I'm ready to put on my last pieces of canvas. And then I can get my roof panels on. Well, there it is, the very last piece of canvas to be glued on. So I rolled the canvas, and then I rolled the plywood substrate here, and laid it out, checked for air bubbles, give it a quick roll with a laminate roller. And I'm just checking it here and there to make sure no little air bubbles have appeared. I just like to let it tack up a little bit. So I'm gonna roll over this again. Today was the first day I actually used a full-size roller. I was using a 5-inch, and then I got a 6-inch of the mini rollers. So today, because I'm gonna recoat the whole thing after a light sanding once it's all applied, I switched to the big roller, which worked really, really well rolling the actual camper, but the canvas, it actually was grabbing it a lot. So it was a little bit of a muckabout, but not too bad. There it is. The last skin is trimmed. Okay, so this is the front. It's very yellow. So this I sanded yesterday and recoated. So I think a little defect there. So it's a little bit rough again after recoating. I might hit it with some 220 real quick. Let's see, I might end up doing another recoat, but I'd say by the time it's primed and painted, and it's pretty well sealed up. You can see the massive difference in color on the recoat. When you sand it too, it actually starts exposing a little bit of the raw canvas in spots. So yeah, I'm gonna just smooth this out a little bit with some fine sandpaper and see. I might recoat it again. But I mean, every coat you do is technically adding some weight. We'll see. So I'm gonna sand this side and do this one tonight. It's getting kind of late. I might do the others, but I wanna get this side done so I can actually slide it over and pile some crap back here and get it out of the way. Well, the poor man's fiberglass is finally done. I've got the last coat of glue. So it had a coat on the canvas, a coat on the raw plywood, stuck it, coated over top of that, sanded it, and now I've rolled another complete coat over the whole thing. Under the wings wasn't the most fun. So yeah, I managed to get away with only one seam here. And then just the corners, which is all going to be covered with my trim pieces, as well as there will be trim piece covering that. And it's pretty. Actually, I've sanded up here again lightly. I just got to go over this. It's still a little bit rough. But I had sanded all the nibs off and then recoated it. So it really needs just a quick once over. Here's where I sanded it. Here's where I haven't. So I've just been ripping some pieces. Just for some extra meat here. This is cardboard, obviously, but when my ceiling comes down, or my roof, just some extra meat to hit, and then I have the offcuts from this angle will actually be on the back side for the interior paneling to butt up into. So that's next on the agenda. I'll probably be able to get to some priming and painting of the exterior. At least priming. I want to prime the whole thing before I put the trim on. Prime the back side of the trim. I'm going to put my interior sheathing in to strengthen those ribs because I have marine plywood and it's quite a bit stiffer than this 5mm stuff I have here. This stuff bends really nice, but it's interior grade. So I'm going to put that on first to strengthen my ribs and keep them from moving. I might have to put some blocking in between, I'm not sure. So I'll do the interior skin, put some insulation in between, and then do my exterior skin, and it should hopefully keep it nice and stiff during that process. Because I did throw the sheet up here and bend it, but it was causing a little bit of sag in the middle when I pulled down. So hopefully my order of operations will take care of that. So yeah, I have enough material to do all the interior skinning. I do need insulation still that I probably will get this weekend, potentially. I at least need to get pieces for up the roof. I'm going to drive there, I might as well get it all. So yeah, quite a bit of work coming up. But I have pretty much all the material for the interior skins. I have material for the roof. I have, I believe, enough material to do all my trim work. I should, if not, I'll be a few sticks short, but yeah, I have primer, so I need to get paint, insulation, fiberglass, cloth, and resin for the roof. I want to get jacks pretty soon as well because I'd like to get through bolts. Because where they go, there's propane on this corner, there's a closet back there, it's my bench seats, and there is the under sink area. So I can actually have access panels and have through bolts with some metal strapping. I might fur that out with some oak, but also like a metal strap. So when I through bolt it, it's nice and solid and it's not going to just have lag bolts. As the jacks wobble or they loosen, it's usually most damage on campers are the corners where the jacks are. So they shake and wobble and gradually loosen. So hopefully my plan will help the longevity.